बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम डियर स्टूडेंट्स, मैं हूँ हज़रत बिलाल। टुडे is our 7th lecture of the subject General Methods of Teaching. As you know, in previous classes we discussed something about the different teaching methodologies and some principles of teaching methodologies. Also we discussed some skills required for the teachers so that he or she may be able to create a conducive learning environment in the class. Today what we are going to discuss, it is something about discussion method. As we know, in a class we are facing different categories of students. Some are average students, some are below average, some are above average, some are well bright and talented students. Along with this, there are certain students belongs to different financial background, geographical background, having different cultural backgrounds. Whenever we are going to collect all these people, gather all these people in a single class, so an environment is created which is called diversified environment. So diversified environment mean when the people from different areas, having different geographic region, having different linguistic differences, having cultural differences, gender differences, and whenever they are gathered in a particular place in a class, so the environment created is called diversified environment. In that type of environment, some people may not be able to feel comfortable along with the curriculum language. They may better understand through the process of communication. If you are going to communicate with them in their traditional languages, they will better understand. In these types of situation, what the teacher need to do? The teacher adopting different methods so that they may engage the students in a learning process. For this purpose, sometimes the teacher adopt lecture method, sometimes group discussion method, sometimes question answer session, sometimes assignment, sometimes presentations. So adopting different methods to keep the students engaged in a class or to keep the student busy in the learning activity. So the teacher adopting different methods for the reason that the teacher is facing different levels of students having different levels of talent. That's why he is adopting different methods for the purpose to put their words in the minds of the student, to increase the learning capabilities of the students, and to work upon the mentality of the student so that he or she may betterly understand what the teacher is communicated. So one of the method is a discussion method, which is our today's topic. Discussion method in a general perspective, sometimes a teacher is going to develop a group of people, designing a group of people. Some of them are well talented people, some of them are below average people. What are the intentions of the teacher? So that the teachers may communicate, what are the intentions of the teacher? The teacher's intentions are that in that group, the students or the friends, they may communicate in their traditional languages. So those students who are facing any confusion in their curriculum languages in which the teacher is communicating or taking or delivering the lectures, the student will betterly understand if their friends are communicating with them in their traditional languages. Also, it will give an opportunity to the student to share their ideas freely without any fear that the teacher will make fun of me in front of the class, the teacher will discourage me, or any other issue. So all these issues will be sought out in that group discussion or that discussion activity. Besides this, it will give an opportunity to the students to learn in their traditional way. Whatever they have in their mind, whatever they have in their heart, they have to speak it out in front of their friends, and the friends will guide them as per their nature. So discussion method playing a very vital role in the better understanding of the student so that he or she may be able to explain the topic in a more better way. So moving toward the definition, an activity in which people talk together in order to share information, a topic or problem or to seek possible available evidences, or it is more and more in student-centered learning venues as a means of engaging students in the active construction of learning, collaboration, and the exchange of perspectives. This definition gives us lots of information. What are the nature of information which we are receiving in this definition? It gives a platform to the students to share their ideas, share their expertise. It is a student-centered or student learning activity, also we can say student-centered activity, because the main focus of this method, discussion method, is what? That are students. That are students to work upon the mentality of the student, to deliver knowledge to the students in a more traditional way so that they may betterly understand. They may share their ideas, their expertise, their real life challenges or experiences with their friends, and they will try to sort out a solution for that. So this is that venue which works for the educational development of a student, to construct the personality of the student in their academic sessions. This is an activity which boosts up the skills and abilities of the student, irrespective of their gender, irrespective of their culture, irrespective of their geographic location. They are gathered at a particular venue, student-centered learning venue, so that they may understand whatever they are facing difficulties. So the students are engaging in this activity in a constructive way, in a constructive manner. They are sharing ideas, they are sharing their beliefs, because there are certain students which feel a little bit shy whenever they are talking in front of the teachers. So whenever they are talking in front of the teachers, so they are feeling a little bit uncomfortable. They have a fear in their heart, if I am saying something wrong, if I am unable to communicate in our curriculum language, let us suppose in English language, the teacher may make fun of me, student will laugh upon me. So there are different fears, different ambiguities, or different doubts in the mind of the student, that if I am going to discuss something in front of the teacher, they will make fun of me, they will label me with a particular name. That name might be a type of insultive name, that name may be a type of other tag based on which the student will call me based upon the tag assigned to me by my teachers. So lots of different issues may be there. But in this discussion method, the students are free to discuss whatever they have in their heart, irrespective of any fear, any doubts, any ambiguity in their hearts. So that's why it is a more profitable way for the students, so that they may exchange their ideas, exchange their feelings, and exchange their expertise about a particular topic. Discussion is thought to be a useful teaching technique. It is a very useful teaching technique. Why useful teaching technique? Useful teaching technique for a reason that this is a technique which develops the higher order thinking skills of the students. Now what are the higher order thinking skills? From the higher order thinking skills, simply we mean that the student need to think on higher level, to go for logical thinking of the topic, rational thinking which we call, relate the topic with the real life examples, to understand the conceptual meaning of that topic, to keep the words and logical meaning in their mind, and to go for certain brainstorming techniques so that they may develop new ideas relevant to the topic, develop more learning techniques relevant to the topic, how to memorize this topic, how to betterly understand this topic, and how to communicate this topic in my own words. This is called higher order thinking skill. That it is a type of sequential order which keeps the students bold, active, smart, so that they may learn something more in a more advanced level. And that's why these are the HOTS, higher order thinking skills, which enable the students to interpret, analyze, and information. These are the things which analyze the student, evaluate the student, assess the student based on their skills, based on their abilities. So, HOTS, HOTS, higher order thinking skills. This is a skill which give an opportunity to the students to think at higher level, memorize the topic and relate the topic with your real life. Students explain their ideas and thoughts rather than merely recent or recite memorized facts and details. In discussion activity, what the students are doing? They are thinking about a topic. They are developing new ideas, how to memorize the topic, developing a schedule, designing a format, designing a tools and techniques, how to learn this topic. But there are another categories of students which are trying to just memorize the topic without knowing its logical meaning, its rational background, without knowing its textual meaning, just try to memorize the topic for the sake of achieving grades. So, yes, through memorization of the topic without knowing its logical background and actual meaning, you may achieve a grade, but it will decrease your higher order thinking skills. It will decrease your IQ level. Because of this method, you may not be able even to appear for entry tests, GAT test, ETA test, which are very competitive tests. So, it is better to come towards discussion method. So, you may explore your ideas, you may explore your thinking, you may explore your feelings, so that you may be able to spoke out whatever you have in your hearts, whatever you have in your minds in front of the students. If any mistakes are there, any deficiencies are there, so other students are there in a group format, in a group form, they may help you, they may provide you some suitable corrections. But as a whole, the students may be able to develop their higher order thinking skills. So, recitation of the topic, memorization of the topic without any textual background or without knowing its logical background, it is not that much suitable. It is not that much beneficial compared with those students who are knowing the logical backgrounds, textual meaning, and then to learn the topic and then explain the topic in front of audience within their own words. So, this is a more acceptable method. Discussion, when combined with probing, open-ended questions, require students to organize available information for the purpose of arriving at their defensible answers. What is happening in group activities? In group activity, whenever the group is formulated, the students asking questions from each other for the sake of checking their knowledge, for the sake of sharing their ideas and expertise, for the sake of getting new knowledge from each other. So, most of the time, the nature of the questions are open-ended questions, which are explorative questions, which are descriptive questions, for which you need to give lots of explanations. So, open-ended questions or descriptive questions are asking in this group method for the reason that it may provide an opportunity to a student to discuss whatever knowledge they have relevant to the topic. So, if 4 to 5 students are available there, so 4 to 5 students will share their ideas in a different way, sharing different ranges of information. As a result, every individual will receive a bank of information relevant to that topic. So, let us see, it will develop the skills, it will develop the abilities, and it will develop the knowledge abilities of the students. So, it is better to engage the activity of class discussion once in a week, twice in a week, so that the students may cover their deficiencies. Whenever the teachers are going to ask certain questions from a particular group, so the available students, they are going to organize their knowledge in a particular way, so that they may give a defensible answer to the teacher or to other classmates or other group members as well. Defensible answers means that whatever knowledge you have, whatever words you are speaking out in front of your class fellows, you may be able to defend your words, defend your knowledge. You must have certain solid proof and evidences for whatever you are saying in front of the audience relevant to that topic. So, this is a discussion activity which encourage the students to speak out in front of the class, encourage the students to develop higher order thinking skills, encourage the students to learn in a more traditional way if they are facing certain linguistic differences or barriers. So, this is a method which playing a very vital role in the promotion of higher order thinking skills, organization of knowledge, and to give defensible answers relevant to that topic. Now, there are certain characteristics of this discussion method. Number one, experiential learning. It is a type of experiential learning in a sense that whenever a group is formulated, so within a group, every individual sharing knowledge based on their own experiences, based on their own talent, based on the range of knowledge which their students have. If one student sharing a variety of knowledge, another student sharing another variety of knowledge, the knowledge are being shared based on the expertise and based on the talent, based on the experience of every student. As they are sharing this information, communicating with each other, so that communication will develop another experience. If I am the part of a group and 6 to 7 members are available in that group, so it is a type of very huge and very sound profitable experience for me that I am learning from those people having different mentality, having different ranges of knowledge, having different life experiences or different educational experiences, and they are sharing all those experiences with us for the sake of improvement of my own skills. So, that is why we can say that this is a topic of experiential learning, this is a process of experiential learning, this is a venue of experiential learning, that based on the experiences of other, I am getting something more, I am learning something new, I am developing my own thoughts, higher order thinking skills. These are the ways which encourage us a lot. Emphasize on students. How to emphasize on students? As we discussed, this is a method where focal point is student. Student centered method. The discussion method is called student centered method. Why student centered method? Because the focal point is the student only. This method is developing, this method is organizing, arranging for the purpose to develop the skills and abilities of the students, to develop the hearts of the students, to develop the inner potentialities of the student, and to give an opportunity to the student to express your views relevant to the topic. So, it emphasizes on the professional growth of the students so that they may develop their skills, they may develop their ability, they may explore their ideas, they may further polish their ideas, and to make them bold, to make them motivated. If other members of a classroom or other members of a group, they have sound knowledge to explain a topic in a more professional way, why I can't? So, it also gives us a type of motivation. If other people can share their ideas, abilities, knowledge, why I can't? I have to search a book, I have to visit certain sites, websites, internet to gain more relevant knowledge about that topic, and then next day I have to come and share it with my other class fellows. So, a little bit efforts will required. So, for that effort you will be motivated by your class fellows because they are sharing very unique ideas. So, it gives a type of motivation to other members as well. Focus on critical thinking. Focus on critical thinking means that this is a method which give an opportunity to think narrowly about a topic as well. Think narrowly doesn't mean that you are thinking negative. Narrowly thinking means that your ideas, your word must be related with the topic for which you are gathered there. If the topic is relevant to atomic structure and you are discussing laws of physics, of course there are certain differences. So, this is not the way for which you are thinking, for which you are gathered, for which you are arranged a group. Narrowly thinking means if the topic is atomic structure, so you must go for Dalton theory, you must go for atomic structure, you must go for the availability of electrons and differentials. So, you must gather relevant knowledge relevant to the atomic structure. Number of protons, neutrons, electrons, shells, subshells, availability of electron, proton and neutron in that atoms. So, this is the way for which you are saying that it will develop your critical thinking ability. It will boost up your skills. So, that is why it focuses upon the critical thinking, that the student, it will give an opportunity to the students to think about that topic in a more advanced way, in a more professional way. Next one is identification phase. Another characteristic of the group activity or discussion method is identification phase. What we are doing in identification phase? It gives an opportunity to identify the mental levels of the students, the learning capabilities of the student, the presentation skills of the student, the writing skills of the students, exploratory skills of the students, interpersonal skills of the student. Also, it gives an opportunity to identify the logical thinking abilities of the student and also to identify their family background as well, because sometimes the people with the educated family background, they are showing very different etiquettes, different behavior compared with the students whose family backgrounds are not educated. So, there are certain differences in their professional growth, in their education, the achievement of their educational objectives as well. Why? Because educated family matters a lot. It works for the basic schoolings of the kids, it works for the basic educations of the kids. So, that is why this is a method through which we could identify the talent, abilities, skills, inner potentialities, mental level and logical judgment of the students. So, we can identify all these things. So, that is why this is a type of identification phase as well. Next one is focusing phase. As we know that a class is a combination of people having different sets of mentalities, different sets of abilities. If in an identification phase we identify certain weak students, certain bright students, below average, above average, average students, we identify lots of different people. So, once we identify lots of different people, so what is the results of that identification? The result of that identification is that we identify the students, now we are going for further categorization. Those students who are below average, so those below average students should be focused more and more, so that we could bring those students to average level or above average level. Those students who are well bright, having strong mentality, excellent talent, those students will be also identified, and we will give them we as a teacher will give them a responsibility to those talented students to work with students having below average abilities or average abilities, to work with them for the reason that we may develop their skills and abilities, to make them a well productive student for the class, for the group, and to make them a well productive individual for their family and society as well. So, after identification phase, we are focusing upon the problems, the issues which we already identified in the identification phase. So, we will try to work upon those problems, those issues and those we will also try to focus upon those qualities and skills of the people which are talented, which are cream. So, we are trying to utilize their skills and abilities for the sake of those weak students, so that the weak students may also get encouraged and the weak students may also show more efficiencies, because those talented students will be a type of role model for them. Then the next one is application phase. What you mean from the application phase? In identification phase, we identify certain weaknesses, certain flaws among the students, we identify the student. In focusing phase, we divide the students in different groups based on their talents, based on their ability, and we focus upon the ability of each and every student, to focus more upon the below average student, to focus less upon average student, and to focus more upon those talented students for the purpose that they may utilize their skills and abilities for the sake of other class fellows. So, that activities, that division will be properly implemented in application phase. More talented student will be adjusted with some weak students or some average students, so that there should be a communication level. A communication should be developed that the weaker student will share their ideas with the talented student, the talented student will try to satisfy the problems of those weak students. That is why application phase matters a lot, because you are moving towards practicality. Based on the talent, based on abilities of the people, we are going to certain categorize the student. For certain categorization, we divided the students, we arrange the student in such a pattern so that each and every individual in a group may get benefits from it. The teacher will try to apply certain tools and techniques upon different groups, whether if it is arrangement, whether if it is the interaction of the teacher for that group, so that the teacher may react, the teacher may interact to sort out the issues, the problems and the ambiguities which the students of a specific group may face. The teacher have to interact. So, because of the interaction of the teacher, the students will get a very clear picture. The students will obtain a very clear idea that yes, the problem which we faced, it is almost solved. So, in application phase, the teacher will use different ideas, different tools and techniques to motivate the students or to increase the learning abilities of those students who are dull, who are below average. After applying all those techniques, then there will be another session which is called use of questions. So, use of questions may have different meaning in this case. Below average student may ask questions from above average students or from talented student in order to make their concept more and more. If any ambiguity, any flaws if they have, they will try to remove it. One. Second case, the talented student may ask questions from the weaker student to check their learning abilities, how much they learn, how much they gain more knowledge, how much their skills are get developed, how much relevant knowledge further they may have, how they may utilize or how they may organize their available knowledge right now. If the student have that ability of organization to organize their knowledge, to make it in a proper sequence, so that because of that organization of knowledge they may achieve excellent grades. So, the talented student may also ask certain questions from the weaker students. Third one, the student may ask questions from the teachers in case of any confusion for the relevant knowledge. So, that is another possibility that the student may ask questions from the teachers, the teacher will react, the teacher will interact and will provide more relevant knowledge to the students. Fourth, the teacher will ask questions from the students, so that the student may assess, evaluate, judge the learning abilities and learning capabilities of the students. so that the teacher may know how much my students learn, how much their inner potentialities increased, how much they become developed in the sense that they may achieve excellent grade. Is it possible that we provide more knowledge to the students or not, or no, the available knowledge which the students have, they are sufficient right now. So lots of activities are there based on which we can assess the students. So one of them was the use of question method as well. Next, there are certain guidelines for discussion method. Number one, the objectives of the group discussion should be explained. What are the objectives of the group discussion? It should be explained thoroughly. The purpose for which we are here, that why we are going to organize this discussion method, this discussion activity, what are the logical background behind them, the sharing of ideas, expertise, knowledge, or a proper interaction between talented and some other levels of students. So the objective of the theme or the objective of the activity should be explained. Introduction, based on certain rules, a discussion activity will be designed, will be arranged. So an introductory session need to be taken by the teacher so that it may provide certain guidelines to the group, that based on these guidelines you have to perform your activities. This will be the guidelines for question answer sessions, this will be the guidelines for sharing of knowledge and ideas, and this will be the guidelines for taking more benefit from this activity. After that, discussion starts. Third one is the discussion. Based on discussion, the weaker student, the average, above average, and more talented students, they will share their ideas, they will share their expertise, they will share their knowledge with each other. A proper discussion will be on the way. Based on those discussion, those students which seems a bit weaker, they may gain more knowledge, their level will be increased, will be raised to certain level. Those students which are above average or well talented, their ideas will be polished more and more. So through discussion method, all the problems will be tried to sort out. Summary, after that the activities will be summarized. A summary will be given that today we discussed this topic in this group method or this discussion method, this much knowledge we shared, these are the subtopics, this much people participated, their views were highly appreciable. Summary in the sense that the weaker student will also give their ideas that yes, our level of understanding was increased based on this interesting method in which lots of people share their ideas. Then there will be a conclusion session. In the conclusion session, the group members will try to conclude. The teacher will also interact to conclude. The teacher will also ask certain questions. The teacher will ask for the importance of this method, that how much this method was productive, fruitful for the rest of the students. So all these activities will be discussed and all these activities will be sought out, because this is an activity which gives a privilege, which gives an advantages, which gives an edge to all the people available in that group. The next one is a reflective discussion method. What it will reflect, what that group method will reflect, the reflection will be the better understanding of the student, their comments, their feedbacks, their words. That yes, we learn a lot, yes, we work more better for the sake of getting more knowledge. Teacher will also feel the level of understanding of the people, that how much the students, how much the kids, they understand the today's topic. The teacher will also try to gain a satisfactory result from these discussion methods, because these are the methods which are wholly solely organized for the sake of improving the skills and abilities of the student. So, a reflective discussion method should also be there. So, these were some separate guidelines designed for the arrangement of a group activity or a discussion activity for the sake of improving the higher order thinking skills, learning abilities of the students, and the inner potentialities of the students. So, dear students, it was all about our today's lecture, in which we discussed the definitions of the discussion method, what discussion method is. We discussed certain characteristics of that discussion method, and also discussed certain guidelines of the discussion method in a well detail. As these were the topics which need lots of explanation, lots of elaboration, so that's why we discussed each and every topic in well detail for your better understanding. Inshallah, in our coming class, once again we will appear in front of you for the sake of some more knowledge, to share it with you relevant to the discussion method. We will also continue this topic in our upcoming classes as well. So इंशाल्लाह अगले क्लास में आपकी खिदमत में फिर से हाजिर होंगे. तब तक के लिए इजाज़त दीजिए. अल्लाह हाफिज़ व मा अलैना इल्ला अल बलाग.